Hi guys, and welcome to Economics by Choppy. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the macroeconomic side of your AS level economics, and the topic we're going to be covering is the basic economic problem. So, what is the economic problem? Well, the basic economic problem is when there's a limited factor of production but unlimited wants and needs. So, there's scarcity in the economy. Now, if you don't already know, the factors of production are land, labor, capital, and enterprise. When we're talking about the basic economic problem, we tend to only consider the first three. So there's a limited land, labor, and capital. So if we have limited factors of production and the wants and needs are unlimited, what does this lead to? Well, this leads to us, we, and when I say we, I mean as in consumers, as in producers, as in the government. We have to make the choice. So we have to make choices. And the reason why we have to make choices is because we can't have unlimited wants and needs because the resources available are finite. Now, when we make choices, we have to consider three things. We have to consider what to produce, we have to consider for whom to produce, and we also have to consider how to produce it. So, for example, let's say we have to consider producing shoes or socks. We have to consider which one are we going to produce, and then we have to consider who are we going to produce it for, and then lastly we have to consider how are we going to produce it. So what resources do we need to produce both of these things? So when we're making choices, we have to consider what's the most efficient way to produce this good or this factory or whatever we're trying to produce. So we need to allocate resources in the most efficient way. Now, the way we decide how we allocate these resources is by, well, there's two ways we can decide it. The first way is supply and demand, which is also known as the market mechanism. Now, what this means is if, let's say, the demand for a good has increased, so a lot of people want this good, then suppliers are going to supply more of it. So the supply is going to increase. And that's the way the market mechanism works. So if the demand decreases, the supply decreases. Another way in which we can allocate the resources efficiently is by government intervention. So let's say the government wants to open a school. The government can say, we are going to open the school even though the demand isn't there, because in the long term, it's going to be the most efficient solution. Now, when we have a mix of the market mechanism and the government intervention, this is called a mixed economy, where the economy has both the market mechanism and the government intervention running at the same time. Now, if you don't understand some of these terms like the market mechanism or the mixed economy and opportunity cost, then that's fine, because I'm going to be explaining all of these terms in a lot more detail in further videos. Now, just to explain what the basic economic problem is a bit further, I've got an example over here that I'm going to run through to try and help you understand what it means. So, the basic economic problem, this is just an example of one. As we all know, in London, the land available is very limited. So, if, let's say, in the same location available, a youth centre and a factory that produces shoes wants to open, but only one of them can be built, this is when we've got a basic economic problem. So you've got a youth centre and a factory that both provides benefits. The youth centre is for children to go, or teenagers, or young adults to go with their friends to socialize. And then you've got a factory, on the other hand, which produces shoes for consumers to buy. So they both have their own benefits. Now, only one of them can be built. Now, as in London, the land is scarce, this is where we need to make a decision. And like I said in the previous video, it can either be left to the market mechanism, so supply and demand, or government intervention. Now, this is where you have to decide and make a decision. And in further videos, I will be explaining to you how we make these decisions in an economic point of view and what the best solution is. For both of the options, the youth centre and the factory, there are advantages and disadvantages to both, and there's no right or wrong answer. And that's today's video done. So I hope today's video has helped you, And if there's anything you're still unsure about, just email me or leave me a comment, and I'll be happy to help. Thanks for watching, and see you guys later.